It's been a day of high political drama. After rumours swirling about the widening rift in the Congress camp in Karnataka, DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah put up a united front as they tried to put an end to the rumours. The rumours may have subsided, but has the power tussle subsided? Or is it just a case of brushing the festering problem under the carpet for now? A political band-aid for a problem that requires a much deeper thought and most certainly a long-term solution. Well, viewers, the state leadership has done what it could have done, which is put up a united front and wait for the central leadership to address the fundamental question. But the point is, can the central Congress leadership actually do it? Well, one thing is for certain, the Congress has the numbers in the Assembly. It's comfortably positioned. It has a majority. But what it's really struggling with right now is clarity from the central leadership. And that's where the problem arises. Now, viewers, there have been tussles in the past as well. But what was different then was that there was a stronger central leadership in Congress. And that was able to keep things under check, ensure that the state leadership in any state did not become a threat to the government itself. That isn't the case here anymore in Karnataka. And I'll tell you why. Because there was a Bihar debacle after which workers demanded accountability. They got SIR and vote chori as answers. There are still questions being asked about how is it that the Congress got its Bihar campaign so fundamentally wrong. There have been no answers. Come after that is the Karnataka issue, the Kissa Kursi ka that's playing out in Karnataka. And the Gandhis and the Congress High Command command only that much political capital now, after Bihar, where they gave no answers to their cadre, who wanted more than just SIR. And by all accounts, the Gandhis and the Congress central leadership are not willing to test their political capital for fear of which way the government may actually go. I want to play out this report that tells you exactly how the drama unfolded through the day.
Idli, sambar, upma on the menu. But when Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar met for breakfast, it was the CM chair conversation that was on the table. After days of suspense, cryptic posts and muscle flex, DK Shivakumar drove into Siddaramaiah's residence just a little after 9 a.m. With a Gucci scarf wrapped around his neck, both DKS and Siddaramaiah looked somber. With them was the Chief Minister's legal advisor, A.S. Ponnanna. The breakfast talks lasted over 30 minutes. Sources have told NDTV that while publicly both leaders are saying the right things, in the breakfast meeting, DKS reiterated the demand for power transition by 2027. After breaking bread together, the Chief Minister and his deputy walked together smiling and addressed a joint press conference. Both reiterated that there was no confusion and that the party and the leadership was united.
Whatever High Command tells, agreement is there 2.5 whatever High Command tells, you'll obey.
ರಾಜಕೀಯವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮಿಬ್ಬರದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದೇ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ. ಪಕ್ಷದ ವರಿಷ್ಠರು ನಮ್ಮ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಹಿಂದೆನೂ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾವು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ನಮ್ಮದು ಅಚಲ. ಯಾರು ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ತಾವೇ ಆಗಲಿ ತಮಗೆ ಗುಂಪು, ನಮ್ಮದು ಯಾವ ಗುಂಪು ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಯಾವ ಗುಂಪಿಗೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅವ್ರ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲೂ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಇವತ್ತು ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆಯೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ದು ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಗುಂಪು, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಗುಂಪು.
But beyond the optics, one thing is certain. This season of Karnataka Game of Thrones is far from over. Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar have left it to the High Command, and it's clear that the top brass will have to step in to end the power tussle.
After several days of political drama, finally the Chief Minister and his deputy met for a breakfast. Was this mere optics, or was there more in the meeting than we heard in that press conference? Well, in the days to come, how will the High Command really handle the impending situation in Karnataka is also noteworthy. With Rituraj Purohit, this is Deepak Bopana for NDTV from Bengaluru.
Now, viewers, let's get you now the big takeaways of exactly what happened today, that breakfast meeting where they put up a united front. And then I'm going to tell you about that meeting that took place in the national capital and how there are very limited options for the Central Congress leadership. But first, they managed to get a tactical truce in place, but there's no real reset. The festering, underlying, lingering power tussle still remains. Both want the Chief Minister's chair, and DK Shivakumar is a Gandhi loyalist and he's using those back channel lines to the fullest. Siddaramaiah shows himself as the man in control because after the meeting it was very clear that DK Shivakumar also said that he's willing to wait. They were all happy smiles and there was a projection of unity indicating that Siddaramaiah is the man who's in charge right now. But DK Shivakumar has also projected himself as the future face of the party. Remember, the big thing he's talked about again and again is he's the one who's never left Congress. He's been an old Congress hand, very close to the Gandhis, stood through thick and thin, and he's the younger face of the party and should be projected. And the focus now, right now, is on governance and delivery of promises. The guarantees that the government has been talking about again and again is what the government wants to focus on right now to ensure that governance doesn't fall behind. The pact promise is now to be decided by the High Command. Now, it's very interesting that there has been talk about this pact again and again. But what is a secret pact? How do you have a secret pact when it's the legislature that actually decides the Chief Minister? Not a coterie of 5 or 6 people secretly deciding, and who are those people? Nobody even knows, which is why what is happening right now in Karnataka is indicative of the fact that the drama is far from over. Dr. Narendra Rangappa, who's a senior spokesperson of the BJP, joins me on the broadcast, along with Asad Abbas, who's a political analyst, and R.K. Upadhyay, who's a senior journalist, joining me live from Bengaluru. In fact, let me start with Asad Abbas here. Asad Abbas, it's quite clear that what's happened right now in Bengaluru is optics only for today. We'll deal with the larger problem of how to fix the power tussle tomorrow. That's the message coming in from the Congress's attitude in terms of solving the problem.
Gauraji, I'll be very honest with you and share a couple of facts. Being Mannana Maga, son of the soil, a proud Kannadiga from the beautiful state of Karnataka, I can tell you one thing. The Congress High Command cannot afford to lose both the leaders. And I'll tell you why. Firstly, who is a Siddaramaiah? Siddaramaiah is one of the tallest leaders in the political history of Karnataka. He is not just that, a Ahinda movement leader, a leader of the Kurubas. So therefore, with his experience of being a chief minister, completing full 5 years from 2013 to 2018, he is a master administrator. Now let me quickly weigh in on
No,
DK
but nobody's
Shivakumar.
denying any of that. The problem is what happened today. Hear me out. The problem is many feel that you've actually addressed an issue today. You've only addressed the immediate issue, which is let's put all of them together, have a united face. We'll deal with the larger issue of power tussle some other day. That's not today's problem.
Gauraji, I will absolutely not contest your journalistic views and out front, which is quite there on the open spectacle. But I will make a point, and I'll answer your pointed question to a pointed answer. Let's quickly weigh in on DK Shivakumar. DK Shivakumar undoubtedly is a master strategist, an election winner of the party. He's a party's troubleshooter. And not just that, he's a rainmaker who makes elections win.
But not good enough to be the chief minister.
I will come to that. Now, coming to this whole Karnataka power tussle, like we speak Karnataka in Karnataka. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to discuss the same with R.K. Upadhyay ji, right in front of the Vidhan Sauda. And I can tell you a fact. The Congress High Command would certainly want to keep both the leaders happy. So therefore, there needs to be a clear-cut mitigation here, a permutation and combination of sorts, which will result in the betterment of the
Let me bring in Mr. Upadhyay right on just that point, which is that the trouble that the Central Congress leadership has, or the High Command has, is they have to keep both of them happy to ensure that the government stays, which is why they've only solved today's problem, and today's problem was to just put a united front. Dealing with the underlying power tussle is some other day's problem, and that is when the Gandhis and the Central Congress leadership will deal with it.
Gauri, let me start with something unusual. You know, Karnataka has a great tradition of puppetry, which has a history of 800 years. You know, what we saw today was a perfect example of that puppetry, in which Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister were made to act by the High Command. And they did a very perfect job. I mean, the way the breakfast was arranged, the way the press conference was held, the way they talked about, things like our total, honesty. And they said, we are totally with the High Command. So they never talked about the real issues. So that is the whole problem. Now, where are we heading? So this whole, breakfast was arranged by the High Command. It's not that, they volunteered to meet. They were told from Delhi that...
Yeah, it was well orchestrated. Absolutely.
So it was well orchestrated. That is the case. Where is the solution? I don't see any solution. But this has gone in favor of Siddaramaiah, I would say, because he has avoided any kind of a decision being taken for the time being. And with the parliament, starting on Monday and then the legislative session from 8th, the whole thing is going to get postponed, which is what he wants.
So essentially what has happened is that the Congress leadership does not have the time to deal with what is happening in Karnataka, one of the 3 state governments that they actually are in power in right now. They don't have the time right now to be able to address the larger power tussle issue. So they just push the issue under the carpet and deal with it on some other day. Dr. Narendra...
It's not having the time.
Yeah.
Gauri is not having the time. They're very, very reluctant. They just don't want to address it because they know it's too complicated for them and they can't handle it. It's not just a question of time.
Of course. Time in the sense, I was talking more in terms of immediate pressing issues, but you're right about the fact that their political capital, I think, has also eroded significantly after Bihar, and that has had an impact. And I'm going to come to that, Mr. Upadhyay, in just a bit. I want to get in the BJP spokesperson as well. Dr. Narendra, your thoughts on how the BJP is now likely to play this out?
See, our stand right from the beginning had been very clear that the Congress party has betrayed the massive mandate that the people of Karnataka had given them. Their job was to focus on development, farmers' concern, because they have not addressed any issue of the farmer. Recently, there was a big hangama about the sugarcane MFRP. Now, maize has not been purchased. Maize procurement centers are not purchased. Still, they're dilly-dallying with the price of the MSP of the maize.
So these issues are fundamental issues.
Law and order has also collapsed. Bangalore has been turned into a city of dacoity. They're openly robbing banks. ATMs have been robbed. Women are atrocities against the women have increased. So, what are the things that the democratically elected government has to be done? Has not been done by the Congress party, except play dramas and go behind the chair. And this drama of Siddaramaiah and Mr. D.K. Shivakumar have come to such an extent that the people of Karnataka are totally fed up with them.
So till now, many would also be thinking that if Siddaramaiah has to make way for D.K. Shivakumar, then it's really not his headache. Let it be somebody else's headache. Let it be D.K. Shivakumar's, the troubles to sort out. But governance is again something that may have taken a back seat. But the larger point here, this is something I want to ask both R.K. Upadhyay and Asad Abbas, which is that, this isn't the first time.
I have an answer.
Yeah, sure. But, this isn't the first time that Congress central leadership has weighed in whenever state units have had some sort of a tussle. It isn't something that hasn't happened in the past. But because right now there's been such erosion of political capital at the center that they do not have that kind of political capital and they don't want to most certainly test it right now in a crucial state like Karnataka, and which is why they're pushing this ahead. Take, for instance, Bihar. People wanted accountability. Their workers wanted accountability. Not SIR, not vote chori, but actual accountability. So that's indicative of the kind of erosion of political capital. Asad Abbas.
Gauriji, that's a fair question and I will answer that. I've always believed with great power there is great responsibility and equal accountability. Undoubtedly, it's out in the open. What happened? Bihar was indeed a debacle. There are no two ways about it. Now let's understand the Indian National Congress, the High Command, is of course looking forward to do what best for the party. These two are important leaders. Dr. Saab, my Anna, my big brother from the BJP, a senior spokesperson, Dr. Saab, has made a statement about misgovernance. Respected sir, if that was the case, Karnataka Congress, under the leadership of Siddaramaiah ji as the Honorable Chief Minister, is the second largest contributor of the GDP of the nation. GST collection, we are number 2. Then we have outpaced the national growth by 6.2%. Agriculture has grown by 4%. Not just that, Bengaluru, my beautiful city of Bengaluru, continues to be the startup capital of India. And we are still the Silicon Valley of the East, only second to California. So therefore, let us understand, I understand.
All of this hasn't happened overnight. This is something that has happened in the last 25 years.
Second point. Quick second point, Gauriji. Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you, ma'am. It is cutting across all party lines, but a larger majority of years ruled by the Congress here in Karnataka, be it SM Krishna and several other leaders. Now coming to the second point. If the Bharatiya Janata Party has such a huge problem with Siddaramaiah or even a DK Shivakumar, I'd like to ask you, sir, BJP's Honorable Chief Minister, former Chief Minister and former Railways Minister, D.V. Sadanand Gowda ji offered 100% full support to Mr. DK Shivakumar. I'd definitely like to know where is this coming from, and does it have the Tatasthu or Ashirwad of Modi ji or Amit Shah ji? Are you trying to fish in troubled waters, or is there a resort politics?
Dr. Narendra, are you trying to fish in troubled waters?
See, these are all baseless allegations that they are making.
Sadanand
We
Gowda
have
has
made
made a
it
public
very
statement.
clear that BJP is not interested in this tussle for power. Our
D.V.
job as
Sadanand
a
Gowda has made a
opposition
press
party
statement, sir.
is to see that these people deliver to the people. This Congress government has mocked the democratic process in our country by giving 140 seats as a mandate. They should have
Dr.
been concentrating on the
Narendra
efforts to bring up the
D.V.
public,
Sadanand Gowda, your BJP
public
Chief
projects,
Minister,
do
Let him answer.
better
Asad Abbas, let him
prices to
answer.
farmers, make good roads. Instead of this, they're squabbling in the public, and they want lame excuses like a statement by some MP, which is not the official stand for BJP. BJP never made an official stand. If anything has been made, it is his personal opinion. It is not the
Former
opinion
Chief
of
Minister,
Bharatiya
Railway
Upadhyay, let me bring
Minister.
you in on the one fact which I think is the reason why no decision is being taken from New Delhi. Breakfast meetings are happening, lunch meetings will happen, all optics and all smiles for the cameras will continue in Bengaluru, but decisions cannot be taken in New Delhi because of erosion of political capital of the Congress High Command. The Congress High Command commands only that much political capital and they don't want to test it. Most certainly not in Karnataka.
No, see, it needs certain way of doing things. It's not that you might be weak now, but the high command will have to assert itself. Otherwise, why is it called high command? See, both of them are saying that we'll go by what the high command says. So that itself is a plus point for you. So then you have to get them together to talk to each other in your presence. And then, you need to negotiate a solution, which is not happening. By asking them to meet separately, for a breakfast is not a solution. You should have called them to Delhi, and then, all the senior leaders of the high command should have sat with them and then said, look, this is what it is. 2.5 years you've completed, and there is an understanding, and which is what Shivakumar is claiming, and which has not been denied. So that being the case, they should have pinned down Siddaramaiah to say, look, now when are you going to step down? How much time do you want? See, they should have worked out a roadmap, which is what they are avoiding. I think that is the tragedy of the Congress party, that they are not able to get these two leaders to Delhi and then deliberate on this and take a decision. So
Abbas, why are they not deciding? Why is Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge not deciding? Why are they not taking a stand?
Because
my big brother,
either way, it's problematic for them.
And I'll tell you what it is, Gauriji.
Let me finish.
Asad Abbas, let him finish. I'll give you 30 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. So either way, it's a problem for the High Command. See, asking Siddaramaiah to step down also has problems. Asking Shivakumar to take over also has problems. So, it's not an easy decision, but then you have to, make Siddaramaiah understand that you already had 7 years of rule.
Yes, Asad Abbas, very quickly. Time is running out quite literally.
Yeah, very quickly. R.K. Upadhyay sir is somebody I take as my elder brother. His credentials are fantastic. His insights are great. But let us understand that a party like Indian National Congress, which is facing quite a lot of challenges, they won't want to lose a state like Karnataka. So therefore, the High Command would not want a Ashok Gehlot versus Sachin Pilot here.
So that's already happening. That's already happening, isn't it?
So therefore, Therefore, Gauriji,
Or a
the
Bhupesh Baghel
decisions that
versus
the High
TS
Command,
Deo.
just 10 seconds, Gauriji. The decisions that the High Command makes cannot be hasty. Here it would make haste makes waste.
2.5 years
therefore,
it's been.
trying
Are you
to
saying
balance-
it's hasty? It's been 2.5 years.
Trying to-
Whatever that secret pact
trying to-
was, they had
Gauriji-
2.5 years to deliberate over it. And now the
Gauriji,
time was to act.
Also trying to balance between the two power centers here is not going to be easy because a Kruba vote and a
Okay.
Vokaliga vote is of prime importance.
Okay.
Let us understand that. And finally, I'd like to say that let's hope that the Nataka in Karnataka comes to an end, and we look forward to a fantastic governance which has been taking place over the last
No,
2.5
the Karnataka
years.
will
and the
only
2.5
end if
years
there's
to
a
come.
permanent solution. But we are
and-
talking. Okay,
and
I'm gonna
let me
leave
make
it
a
there,
prophecy.
Asad, because time is of
A
essence
prophecy-
here,
a
and that's
small
essentially
prophecy of
what the
5
story
seconds,
is for
Gauriji.
Rahul Gandhi as well.
Gauriji,
Gentlemen,
since you've
I will
covered-
have to leave it
since you've
there.
covered
Thanks
politics.
so much for joining me on Saturday Prime. The fact is that time actually is running out. An answer needs to be given. Today, what happened was a political band-aid. Shove the problem under the carpet for it to be dealt with at a later stage. State after state, leadership after leadership, that has been the story. And the Congress now needs to act. Why is it that they are not doing is the larger point. Again, coming back to the fact that is it because they fear the erosion of their political capital, or is it that they fear that the Congress party in Karnataka may actually come into two deeper factions than what it exists right now? I'm going to leave it there. Thanks much for joining me on this debate on Saturday Prime.